excuse me. I hope this is working. It looks like it is. I'm hoping that we are getting to someplace here, but give me a second before we get too far, because unfortunately, when a person's microphones get unplugged, you want to make certain that everything is working exactly where it should be, and as of right now, that is pretty much the case. So, okay, so far so good. I want to double check that. A lot of work going on in the studios here today. So unfortunately, occasionally things tend to get unplugged, and that is pretty much exactly the case of what actually happened for earlier on. Apologies for the audio issues. We may have to get engineering to fix the other problems we've got into tomorrow, so stay tuned for more there. All right, part two of Weather Overtime, the second time around for those of you who were watching earlier. Again, apologies, I was doing a silent weather forecast for several minutes before I noticed that we didn't have any audio fluctuation going on, but it looks like right now everything is hopefully working pretty well. So, getting into tonight, before I was so rudely interrupted, we'll take a look and see what's going on with the forecast, which again is decently quiet. We'll be showing a better possibility of showers and thunderstorms coming up into the next couple of days, but more on that in just a little bit. This is actually from a few weeks ago, right about the time of the snow moon from the Soddy Daisy area out on the lake there. Robert Copeland, thank you very much for a beautiful view from the Soddy Daisy area out there on the waters. And if you've got a picture you'd like to submit, we'd love to show it as the Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. All you have to do is go to our social media pages in the comments section to drop it off, email it to us, or go to our brand new section of our website, wdef.com/photos. If you'd like to both submit your picture and see what everybody else has been tuning in to submit for there, thank you very much for the submission so far. And again, this website you can go to see what other people have been tuning in on there. If you've never been to the show before, welcome to Weather Overtime. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek, like it says at the bottom of your screen. Email address aonek@gmail.com. That's the, pardon me, aonek@wdef.com. High temperature today, we came within 1 degree of a record high temperature, 56, well above the normal and nowhere close to the record low. No precipitation today. We need a decent dousing of rainfall because we are way behind where it comes to anything involving rain across the area, and could definitely use a little bit more because we seem to be finishing up with a deficit for the month if we don't pick something up pretty soon. We're also witnessing the possibility of getting into more fire danger out there. Each red dot that you see on screen, that is a wildfire being detected by the Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer System satellite. That is picking up the hot spots that it sees from orbit as wildfires. And the gray that you see on screen, that is the smoke that is now covering the area. It's a decently stagnant atmosphere. We don't have any major storm systems rushing through. And as of right now, things are very calm and quiet. So that's allowing the smoke to continue to kind of hover in place for a little bit. It is possible later on that we could get into the potential of maybe some dust from the Sahara making its way over portions of the area. It doesn't look entirely like too much right now, but we are going to be watching, and you can see that. Let me borrow earth.nullschool.net. If you'd like to take a look here, this is a really cool website to keep around, just to keep from getting bored, if anything else. Tons of dust and sand working its way off of the Sahara and that out over the central Atlantic. That's kind of helping to cool the water temperatures a little bit. Nowhere close to cooling them off to what we need for this time of the year. The actual ocean temperatures right now are equivalent to what you would find in mid-July. That is way above schedule, and definitely something that we need to keep an eye on, but something very interesting taking place there with, again, some of that information coming in from the earth.nullschool.net website. If you'd like to check that out at some point in time, very cool to be able to take a look at that. We also see again over the next several days the potential of more dry weather, with some exceptions. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Orion the Hunter, the constellation, in view on the Island Cove marina and resort camera, and showing again a decent amount of some quiet weather out across much of the area. Sylvester the Spider making an appearance there, doing his part to, I thought we had a meteor there for a second. That's an airplane heading right through Orion. Thanks to Sylvester for spinning that web and catching the skeeters and keeping the insect population down. From downtown, a beautiful sunset out there this evening, very much on the hazy side, and Sylvester the Spider's cousin from downtown taking a look around. From the News 12 studios, a beautiful sunset over the north flank of Lookout Mountain, and a beautiful view. You can actually see the 3 stars in Orion's belt up at the top of the screen, but otherwise a beautiful evening in downtown. A lot of folks out and about at the Chattanooga Theater Center camera at Coolidge Park, walking over the footbridge. Still a lot of folks out tonight as we have some very mild temperatures taking place. In fact, the numbers are still very pleasant in the mid-70s with very calm winds. That is also helping to keep, again, the dust conditions out there down by at least just a little bit. All these cameras available on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. Thanks to EPB for being our sponsor there, and should be some quiet conditions again for overnight. Let's go ahead and jump into the big picture and give you an idea as to what's going on here. We do see, again, the potential for more storms later, but not much of anything going on right now. Winds out of the south pushing this storm system up back to the north, and our latest storm system, which looks an awful lot like our last storm system, getting geared up over portions of the Rockies. Once these systems get pushed upwards into the mountains, they don't get as much room to maneuver, so the atmosphere and the topography kind of sandwiches them right over portions of the Rockies. Then they move out into the plain states and they get a lot more room to maneuver, gather a lot more energy, and that is where we're going to see, again, the potential of problems, especially north of us in the next couple of days. Now, for tonight, I don't see anything really happening. We did have a couple of storm systems, a couple of storms popping up right over toward western North Carolina earlier on. Not happening for right now. Tomorrow morning, that front again stays back to our north with that warm air pushing its way back toward the Great Lakes. Then that warm front remains in place, just cloud cover expected into tomorrow. And then as we go into around Wednesday morning, more showers and thunderstorms possible back to our west, and more scattered showers and thunderstorms possible around the area as we go into Wednesday evening. That is, again, going to be probably aggravated by that storm system getting closer to us. So far, it does not look to be a huge possible problem for severe weather. We will see a bit of a gap in the rain coming up on Thursday as our next storm system gets organized. Going to be seeing an active pattern over the next few days with more of these storm systems coming on through one after the other, and we'll continue again to see the potential for more problems out there. So that, again, is where we really need to watch. And then by the end of the week, Thursday night, Friday morning, more scattered showers and thunderstorms, some activity toward early Friday morning at the bus stop, and then by Friday afternoon, we start to clear out a little bit with high pressure coming through, but that, again, is just ahead of our next storm system getting a little closer to us. We'll time that one out for you in just a little bit. Now, for the chance of severe weather, we don't see anything tonight, again, to our northeast. News 12 viewing area here, and the pale green area is not even severe weather. That's just generic thunderstorms. The severe threat over parts of eastern Virginia, and then way back over there toward the plain states where that system is going to be coming on through. That is where we could see a bit of a problem tonight, not for us. But then we get into the area of Tuesday. That threat gets farther out into the plains, south of Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, down toward I-70, St. Louis, into Kansas City. That is where we see that potential of the heaviest severe weather coming through. We will see by late Tuesday a possibility of some thunderstorms getting close to our area. And then on Wednesday, it gets a lot closer to us, to where we see a generic possibility of thunderstorms first, but that dark green area, let me zoom in on that just a little bit, that includes a portion of the News 12 viewing area. This will be late Wednesday night into early Thursday. This storm system, again, could be the potential of some severe weather. Again, that's a low-end marginal threat, but there is going to be the potential of some severe weather in portions of the area. Now, keep in mind that this day 3 forecast is several hours old. This is about 18 hours old, and the Storm Prediction Center doesn't usually issue another one of these until just after midnight. So the day 2 forecast, which again, Tuesday, day 1, Wednesday, day 2, tomorrow, will give us a better idea as to what we're looking at. But this is, again, the potential of what we could see coming up into Wednesday evening. It's limited. The best potential severe weather back to our north and west. This map could change in the next few days, so again, keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you advised as to what we may be seeing out there. All right, taking a look outside over the next few days, here's what we've got going on, to where we've got a marginal threat possible into Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday, not on Tuesday. Very warm on Tuesday, then slightly cooler, right about where we should be on Wednesday with temperatures. Bouncing back with sunshine into the mid-80s on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it looks like a pretty good, almost a weekend wipeout. You might be ducking and diving some raindrops for some outdoor time frame on the weekend. What you'll also see is temperatures going from the mid-80s on Thursday to the mid-60s on Sunday and staying there on Monday. Next Monday looks perfect timing right after the weekend, getting into some sunny skies. But we've got, again, some cooler conditions coming on through. No sign of any 30s out there. I think we may have turned the corner on that for now, so that we don't see any more frost possibilities. But again, always a good idea to keep an eye out to see what might be happening with your plants and things like that if we get into another frost situation. We saw that potential last week for this downturn in temperatures. Now it doesn't appear quite so likely. So again, good news where that is concerned. So we're just not seeing too much of a problem for now. We do see, again, the potential for some problems out there for the outdoor activities coming up into the weekend. So I would have an indoor plan B ready to go just in case. You never can tell when that might come in handy. So definitely want to keep an eye on that forecast, and we can help you do that right here on News 12. Pretty much that's going to do it for tonight. We don't really have much of anything else happening. We've showed you the picture of the day, I think. Let me get to our weather question of the day, sponsored by friendinroofing.com. The question, more science and weather than just a weather poll. Try to keep it interesting, and so far we haven't had to repeat questions, but we're going to need to do that at some point in time. It was a tie today. Which United States state or territory, this courtesy of the United States Geological Survey, has more earthquakes that cause damage than the rest of the country put together? Alaska, Hawaii, California, or Washington State? Tie vote for number 1 for Alaska and California. The correct answer was actually California. Dollar for dollar and magnitude for magnitude, California has the worst, most damage-causing earthquakes in the United States. So thanks a lot for playing along for our friendinroofing.com weather question of the day. And if you want to play along, new poll goes up at midnight at wdef.com/vote now. So head on over there. A new poll again will be coming up as we go into around the midnight hour for more. Want to mention one thing here. This is really, excuse me, pretty cool. It's a shower of a different type coming up, and it's one of the bigger meteor showers of the year, but it is still kind of one of the smaller, biggest meteor showers of the year. This one is the Lyra meteor shower coming out of the constellation of Lyra the Harp. It'll be peaking next week tonight. It'll be again, Sunday night into Monday morning, but it'll also be right past its peak, which isn't much, 20 meteors per hour at the maximum. So that's 1 meteor every 3 minutes, give or take, per average. It is also the meteor shower that has smaller amounts of meteors. It has the smaller amount, but it also has meteors that has the smaller train, you may call it, the tail as that goes on through. If you take a look at our animation here, you can see some big streaks of light. Those are more indicative of some of the bigger meteor showers of the year, the Perseids, things like that. This one, the meteor trails will be a lot shorter, zipping through Earth's atmosphere. That's not so good news, number one. Number two is that the moon that night will be just prior to full, and that means it'll be rising over the horizon right about the time the sky starts to get dark, and it'll be 96% full. So that bright flashlight of the Earth's moon may do a good job of drowning out some of the even stronger meteors. So the best thing you can do for this meteor shower is to go out to a very dark place, well away from city lights. Find where Lyra the Harp, the constellation, will be rising, and that will get you a good idea as to where to go to when it comes to finding a good place to go to get a very nice view of things. If I may, there's a couple of websites that you can use to help on that. One of them that we use for our backgrounds for animation maps. We kind of borrow them off of Stellarium Mobile, and you can get there by going to stellarium-web.org. This is a really cool website because this gives you an idea as to where the constellations are you are looking at. It can give you a night mode, so if you're looking on your phone, it'll be all red light, so it won't ruin your night vision. That'll come in very handy. And again, it'll also put on deep sky objects that you can see with your telescope if you want to look out there. So if you want to make certain you're looking the right direction, what time the space station or Tiangong-1 Chinese space station will be flying overhead, this is a very cool website to have. And again, this is stellarium-web.org if you'd like to take a look at that. Second website that we use on here is a great website to use. It's called Heavens Above, and this thing has a very good website to use for watching the skies out there. So this is something to really take a look at, give you an idea. It's a good planetarium type presentation. It doesn't have quite as much in the way of point, three-dimensional type things, but you can enter in the data here for the exact minute you want to look in what part of the sky you're looking at, and that again can give you an edge as to finding deep space objects out there. So very cool to be able to see this. While I'm talking about this, let me show this real quick. It's almost over with, but it's from scistarter.com. It's very cool, scistarter.com. Today is, and up until, well, it's all pretty much over with for now. The 10 p.m. hour has passed. It was a webinar. The 1 Million Acts of Science Palooza was today. If you'd like to know more about what you could do for citizen science, find out more at scistarter.org, I believe it is. And let me just see if I can find that real quick. It's a very good website to have. Part of it's 1 million acts of science per month, and this is a really cool place to go to see what you can do to participate in collecting data for scientists. It's a good opportunity. You don't have to have a PhD to get involved in science. All you have to have, in some cases, is a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen, and you can collect data on butterflies, on asteroids, on mold, on pollination, all kinds of stuff like that. So go to scistarter.org and be part of their 1 million acts of science coming up throughout the month of April. Not too late to get involved with this on there. Really cool to take a look at. What is citizen science? Watching dolphins, picking up garbage, talking about monitoring bat populations and behaviors. This is just a small amount of what you can be involved in. It's, again, doesn't have to be anything in the way of a grad level, doctorate level, thesis level, science type person. You can just be you. You can just be the nice, normal person that you are and collect data to help when it comes to things like this. So find out more at, again, scistarter.org, and a great opportunity for you to find out a lot more as to what is going on out there. You can even count meteors with one website. I'll have to look that up and bring that up to you as we go into tomorrow if you'd like to know more about that. That's really cool to check that out. I believe that's with the American Meteors Society, so you can check that out as well if you'd like to give a chance on that, if at all possible. All right, I think that's going to do it. Pollen is doing a very good job of kicking my nasal cavity, so I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for this evening. You can find me on all of these websites down here: YouTube, Twitch, Tumblr, Counter Social, Post, Mastodon, Twitter, the website now known as X, and eventually I'm going to get back on Facebook if Facebook will actually let me and quits rejecting all of my identification out there. Somebody tried to hack me from New Orleans, and unfortunately Facebook says that my particular identifications are not good enough to sign back in again. So I'm kind of stuck until Facebook decides to be magnanimous and let me in. Mr. Zuckerberg, are you listening? For your security staff is doing an excellent job, but kind of needs some help on this, if at all possible, from inside. I think that should do it for this evening. Again, questions, concerns, give me an email at aonek@wdef.com. Again, the email in the lower right-hand corner of your screen there, aonek@wdef.com. We'll have more on the forecast tonight on News 12, so stay tuned for much more, and we'll keep you advised as well with Chip Chapman's forecast bright and early tomorrow morning. So stay tuned for more with News 12 on that. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, United States, planet Earth, Milky Way galaxy. I'm meteorologist Austen Onek, Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Stay tuned for more with News 12, and we'll keep you advised on air and online.